Okay. Hold on, let me just place this on the table. Reggie, do I have permission to record this conversation?
Yeah. He was inside Uru while he was talking to me.
How do you know?
We played a bit of a game of you remember Guess Who with the little flip things? That you knock the person down when you guess something like, are you wearing a hat? Yes, and you knock down everyone that's not wearing a hat.
I know what game you're talking about.
Well, he was asking questions that everyone in that picture has. Work out which one could have been me.
Can I see this photo?
Hayes, I'm really fucking busy. Goodbye.
Yeah, I can email it to you.
I'd like to see it.
He was in Uwu when he said, nope, not that one, not that one, not that one.
I don't really follow.
Oh, this mural.
Think of the mural as a game. Are you a male? Yes. You put a cross through everyone that's a female. Do you have black hair? No. Cross out anyone with black hair. Do you have brown hair? Yes. Knock down everyone who doesn't have brown hair. He said to me that he feels like my favorite thing to wear is white. Obviously, I'm not on the mural. We know this, right? But I think he was going through the mural to try and work out which one could have been me. To what I wear a lot of now. I am so glad I'm not on that mural. Holy shit.
Did you just... Wow.
He was in Uwu.
Holy shit, man.
So he thinks that you're Rex?
But that's the only one that I can think of. But he asked if I wear glasses, or he said, "Do you wear glasses or goggles?" And I said yes, because I always have my sunglasses on. I mean, Rex in that could be somewhat mistaken a little bit if you haven't seen me in a long time.
That's fair.
He was actually in Uwu while talking to me.
And you know this for sure.
Well, he was playing Guess Who with me and asking these questions of the people that were on the mural.
Wait, what if he thinks it's Sherry?
Okay. Okay. Anyway, get back to your side of the story and then I'll go on with mine.
Sherry has brown hair.
He also asked if I was a male or female.
Can't assume.
Okay. Anyway, Ash, please, your side.
Oh, then I hung up the call.
Hold on.
And I went like this.
Wait,
and I walked
wait.
around in a circle. and yeah?
I have nothing on this notepad. We need to go back in time
Okay. You ready?
No. Hold on.
Are you ready now?
Hold on. I'm sharpening my pencil.
Just do me a solid and jab the pencil into my eye.
No. Okay, so far I have Ash. Tell your side. I don't remember. And then you said he called me and says you wanted
Okay,
me.
so
Oh,
he
wait,
called
wait.
me with an unknown number.
Okay, hold on.
And I said, hello, this is Ash Ketchup. Do I keep going? Does that mean
Like
yes?
right fucking faster.
There's a
Okay.
literal
Literal.
recording.
Mm-hmm.
Record,
Okay.
record,
He
and
called me with an unknown number, and I said,
record and-
hello, this is Ash Ketchup. And then he says, you wanted me to call you or something? And then you said, no.
And then he said, like, it was something to that degree, like, you wanted me to call you. And I said, no. And he goes, oh, but you had yellow pages up or whatever. I said, no. And he's like, I said, who's this? What's your name or whatever? And he said, it's Jasper. And he said, you wanted me to call you. And I'm like, no. And then he's like, perhaps you meant a different Jasper. And I said, yeah, maybe. And then I sort of remembered about things, and I was like, So then he was kind of like, okay. And I was kind of like, okay. And we hung up the call.
Oh, you missed something in that.
I did?
Yeah.
Part did I
Reggie
miss?
didn't tell me Jasper's last name.
That was in the second call.
He called a second time and you didn't.
I told you that. Yeah, then I walked around in circles like this, and I said, Reggie. And Reggie was like, yeah. And then Reggie came over, and I told him about it. And then I said, oh, okay, well, I'll try and call back the number. So I got out my phone, and I tried to call back the unknown number. Ring, 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 ring. And it didn't answer. So then I said, I'll just twat for him to call me back. So I did.
Wait, you twit.
I told you I would. If you didn't want me to, you should have told me not to.
I thought I made that very fucking clear. I thought I made it very fucking clear to not fucking do something like that.
Well, I told you I was gonna, and then I did it while we were talking. If you didn't want me to, you should have told me not to.
At this point, I feel like I just need to kill you myself and make sure it's nice, quick, and painless.
What? Okay, well, anyway, when he called back, I was like, hello, this is Ash Ketchup. And he was like, oh, you wanted me to call you back. Don't tell me you meant a different unknown number this time. And I was like, no. And then I was like, I thought about it. I definitely meant a different Jasper, not this Jasper. And he was like, oh, I see. And then he was like, you should put a last name in there. And I said, oh, well, I don't know the last name. And then he was like, you don't know the last name? I said, yeah, nah, Reggie didn't tell me. And that's...
You what? You what?
Listen, it just sort of came out. It just sort of came out.
Ash, you what?
I said, Reggie didn't tell me.
Same Reggie that he wants to kill.
And then he said, which Reggie? He said, you said Reggie? Which Reggie? And I said, I don't know which Reggie.
You should have said mids. Fuck mids.
And then he was like, which Reggie? You don't know their last name or some shit like that? And I was like, no. And then we ended the call.
Oh, damn. Yeah, same. I think that was just me flatlining for a sec.
Yeah.
You get all that down, Flo?
Yeah, every single bit of it I got down. On that little
Yep,
thing blinking on the fucking desk.
Yeah.
Because I definitely need to go back and re-listen to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need to take up a new drug, I think.
Yeah.
You want some drugs? Here you go.
What are you, what?
Oh wait, did I put them in? No, where did my vitamins go? I think I must have put them in my apartment.
Wait, hold on, your vitamins?
Yeah.
Question, is it these vitamins?
Yeah.
I have some.
Oh hell yeah. Yoink.
Listen, I've been huffing on copium way too much in my life. Copium ain't gonna fix this.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, I have some. Okay, so let's break this down then. So you
You thought we were done?
Everything is 3D.
Oh
The
no.
fuck did you take?
There's blue and red everywhere.
This is fantastic. This is what I need to deal with as well on top of this.
Hey,
I'm gonna die from fucking like a massive heart attack or some shit. It's gonna be something very boring.
we're gathered here today to mourn the death of Reggie Might
Isn't that Andy?
for his old age.
Is that Matt Andy? Are they both Andy? Or is just one of them Andy?
Both.
Which one is the real Andy?
Both.
Neither of them.
Is this one, okay, is this like when she first went into office and then this one is after and she got white hair from the stress of being in office and that's why before, after?
Okay, Ash, we need to get back on track. Get your ass back over.
You good?
No, I am anything but good right now. Just do me a favor and just grab that red telephone and ram it into my head till I don't fucking wake up again.
Ash, put the telephone down. Ash, put the Ash, I need to make a call actually. Put the telephone down.
Oh.
I'm gonna make a call. Please. There you go. There we go. See? Yeah, there we go. All right. I'll make that call in just a quick minute. Let's focus on let's focus on your side, Reggie. Why don't you explain to me your side? Am I gonna be able to write your side?
Yeah, if I can get you to direct your eyes to Yellow Pages and just look at the ad that I put in there. Nice, Ash. You good? You good? You good, mate? Fucking struggling with life?
Gee.
Okay.
Okay, I see it.
Okay. So I then put that out like a few minutes later. Because I called the phone number that I spoke to him on last time and he didn't answer. And then he called me, I don't know, 10 minutes. Ash, lay down.
I can't. What?
Ash, lay down. Okay, that's perfect. Just smother my face. Now, okay. So, anyway,
We made a triangle.
he spoke to me, and he said, "Reggie, it feels like it's been over a year." I said, "A year? What do you mean? I spoke to you last week." He says, "Oh, my memory's just really foggy." And we talked a little bit, and I basically he was telling me that he was going through the Yellow Pages, trying to find his next victim, and then he saw my name. I said, "Am I a victim or someone you work with?" He said he doesn't know. He hopes that he can trust me. And I said, "Well, can you ever trust anyone that's a fucking murderer and a serial killer? Like, come on." He agreed. There was a lot of irrelevant backwards and forwards and some things, but some things did pique my interest. He doesn't remember exactly talking to me before. He doesn't remember anything that I spoke to the copycat about. So I had to like tell him. So I threw a couple of things out there just to test the water. One of the
Sure.
things was, do you still have that cassette that I gave? He said, I must have lost it. I don't remember it. And he said, which one did you give me? And I said, Betty, one at the Yellow Jack. And he still said that he doesn't remember. He doesn't know where he's put it. He might have lost it. I yelled at him because I said, that was my only copy. How could you lose it? Obviously, I didn't give him the tape, but I just wanted to see. Wanted to play along with the fact that I'm unsure everything about him. I asked him to talk to me in his normal voice like the last one did. And he said his voice was hurting. So he refused to change to his normal voice. That was his normal voice, and he said it's best that we talk like this from now on. There's a lot.
I want to make clear, I'm recording all of it for two reasons. One, I want to go back and get my own statements written down of everything you're saying. And two, I want to pass this recording along to Hayes and anyone else.
Yeah.
This way, in case there's any other small details that maybe I'm unaware of or uneducated in, Hayes will be able to try and pick up on them.
So he
Who's
also
Hayes?
asked me. Mackenzie Hayes, is it?
Mm-hmm.
I always forget the first name.
Yeah. Mackenzie
Is
Hayes.
he named after Hayes or is Hayes named after him?
What?
I think completely different.
Oh.
They're different spelling. Hayes is Haze.
Okay, this is ruining my train of thought.
I'm sorry, Reggie, go ahead.
So throughout the call, he asked me if I'm watching my back. And I said, not really. I'm running around in circles like a dickhead on the phone. And he also asked where I was running around. And I said, on a roof when I was out at the farm. He asked me what I did for a hobby, like for fun. And I said, I like street racing. I'm not going to tell him I'm farming. But later in the call, I'm going to jump backwards and forwards to because it's been a fair few hours, and towards the end of the call, he said that maybe after he did the guess who, where it was marking off who's who, maybe we might bump into each other somewhere out in the middle of nowhere. Basically referring to like the way I took it as if I'm farming, he might come up at some point. Now he named Ash as, he said that he wanted to go after Reggie Mitz because he asked if there was another Reggie. And the radio's annoying. So fuck me dead. Ash and I are going to be off radio for a minute.
You okay, Ash?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so he asked me if there was another Reggie, and that in the sitting, I said, "Oh, there's a Reggie Mitz." I was just like, "Oh, wouldn't that make it a great video? Me getting the Reggie that helped to symbolize the Reggie that helped me, and then also this Ash Ketchup person." He said, "What do you know about Ash Ketchup?" I said, "Oh, not much really. Obviously, you can tell that I fucking work at Oil. It doesn't take a fucking genius to know that we hang out a lot. Like it's, yeah." So he wants to do his next video with possibly a male and a female being Ash and Reggie Mitz. But then I was saying, well, so Reggie Mitz doesn't look like himself anymore. Okay, it has a lot more of a feminine build. So he wants to do it with Reggie Mitz and Ash. I tried to explain that, and then Jasper said, well, maybe I'll just do it with Ash then, because he liked the sound of her voice and thinks that it'd be good for a video.
You didn't tell me this.
He also said that he's always wanted to use the foundry smelting place and drop someone into the smelter. I also spoke to him about his videos he's done, and I said, well, you're the one who said that the construction one and the driving the car off the cliff you wanted to get them out of the way because they were boring. It sounded like it pissed him off a little bit, because obviously they weren't boring and they didn't mean nothing to Jasper. But there was a few times there where he tripped over him and just showed him. And when I knew that it was Ash that he was going after, I tried a lot throughout that call to bait him to come after me instead. Like little things that I said.
Did you try to antagonize him enough to get him to change his mind? Because you can tell me I'm wrong, but in all the times, and I'm unfortunately I'm probably wrong, but in all the times I've heard of Jasper and his stories and who he goes after, I feel like once he has someone in mind, he doesn't really like to alter his feelings toward that. I feel like he goes after it and completes what he wants after he says he's gonna do it. You know what I mean?
Yes, but he can do other videos before, or other cassettes before that. He will think of someone in advance and start planning that whilst he's conducting another cassette.
Okay. So essentially what happened was, I'll go back in the recording and confirm everything, right? But essentially you tried to not shift blame, but shift his target onto you to protect Ash. Yes. And he didn't want to bite on it?
No. And he told me that he's been going to the pier and seeing all the businesses there, and that he was going to the pier to get some food. Now, Flop, sometimes you got to fight smart but stupid. We went to Dean's World. I couldn't find him. There was nobody fully masked up, nobody resembling. Oh, we did also talk, and he said that, because I asked, said, so if you've learnt so much about Jasper, what was his favorite mode of transport? And he said, I don't know, a bike. But no, he used to like walking everywhere because that way the police couldn't stop him to ID him. But this time he said, maybe I'll just start driving around the city at the speed limit. He also asked me for a fake ID. Now,
saw that coming.
Now, if you guys are 200 IQ, you'll get me an ID to give to him that's on a flagged profile.
I can do that for you. I need to confirm that with SCU, but if you need to get him an ID, I can do that. In fact,
no picture associated with it, no crimes, fresh, clean ID.
Okay.
But when a police officer runs that, it fucking flashes and says, call every single fucking unit here. And if
let
they run,
me say this. I might be able to make that happen. In fact, there's no might about it. I'm gonna make that happen because that is the best idea we have. And I mean, I more or less fortunately, I want to say we could probably find one to use for this. But like I said, this is really going to be up to Hayes at the end of the day. But I'm going to pitch it her way and say, listen, this is the best chance we have. So if he wants a fake, I mean, we can, I mean, you know, we can note down and put annotations down so that other officers are aware of certain crimes or times we pulled people over, right? Say issue warning on this date, if pulled over again on this date, right? We do all that. So we could, I mean, like flashing red lights, we could find this person and abso-fucking-lutely. Yeah.
This would be the 200 IQ play. I drop him off the ID somewhere. He picks the ID up. And then he uses said ID. Now, if we want to be 1,000 IQ with this, 3 different IDs, all 3 of them flagged.
I agree. I was gonna say, why not one? What if he wants to change his identity? You could even, I mean, you could even 1,000 IQ it and say, hey, I got you 3 in case you change your identity or in case this one gets compromised or whatever. Now there's a small level of trust, and there's 3 different ways we can find him. Now here's the issue, and I'm gonna speak openly for a minute. And it's on recording, so I know what I'm about to say may come back at me. The Unified Police Department has an issue sometimes when it comes to reading the fine print on stuff. I want people to be aware of these names if they come up. I may not explain why, but would it be a safe call to maybe announce it at one of our meetings to say, hey?
No.
Well, hear out what I'm about to say. Would it be a safe call to go to the meeting and say, hey, if you see Bob Smith, let me know? They don't have to know context.
If you remember what Hayes was saying, limiting to the people that know this, because Jasper had a big reach of people, including doctors that wanted to help him. So you want to limit people that know about this.
Okay, that's fine. I was saying if we were to make an announcement of any sort, it wouldn't be in regards to him. It would have been just more or less the IDs and the names. But if you don't want that, then we'll.
But then if that ID gets brought up and he's talking to someone and he says, "Oh, Reggie got me these 3 IDs with these names," and then
yeah.
Like,
you're right. Loose ends. I don't know. Isn't there voting or something happening?
I don't know. So something else. Sounds like I'm fucking watching Snoopy.
I really don't want her to open the door. Did she just lock us in here?
Probably.
I was kidding about the fucking debt cord, by the way. I don't have a debt cord.
Things.
Hold on.
He said that he's.
What's up?
He said that he's going to have a week off. He kept trying to convince me that he doesn't want to do this anymore, that he's changed. He just wants to fit in with everyone. But then he was talking about next victims and what he's going to do and stuff. Kept trying to suss out whether or not I'm a friend or a foe, even though Jasper knows exactly what I am. What else? This was like a 40-minute long phone call. He asked me if I liked fishing, which is concerning because our plots are right near the fishing spot. I told him no. He asked me what I was wearing after we played the game of Guess Who. Oh, you might reach out to a doctor. Facial reconstruction.
Okay.
Now bear in mind, when the facial reconstruction happened with Dr. Choi, it did not happen at the hospital.
Was it like a corrupt operation? Was it like an off the books thing?
It wasn't off the books.
Okay. How do you want me to avoid that or prevent that from potentially happening? If you think there is a way. If you don't think there's a way, it's more or less just to keep an eye out for it, then I'll work off that. But you got to give me something on either Should I go to the hospital and ask them how often they do facial reconstruction surgery, or just not say anything and
No.
let it happen?
What you need to do is you need to find out what doctors are able to do those things.
I think you and I both know a doctor in question who may or may not be going to court.
And then once you've done that, watch that doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Because that doctor will probably end up getting contacted. He asked me about the mask that he used to always wear. Trying to see if I remembered. There was several times through that call that he kept saying it feels like it's been a year. And I kept calling him out on it each time. And Flop, he's gonna go after Ash because he knows what that did to me with Bree. And then after he's done with Ash, he'll come after me because I'll be stupid, I'll be fucking reckless, and I'll try and find him myself.
Listen, I'll keep it 100% with you, Reggie. He's probably going to know, and he's probably going to come after you. I mean, not for nothing,
There's no probably, he is going to.
Oh, I know. I mean, but you can't be perfect. No one can be perfect. I mean, listen, I'm essentially a dead man walking, and I'm not perfect, right? But realistically, you know, you're saying that he was at the cafe talking while you were there. I mean, that's he's gonna have his way, but it's a matter of staying that one step ahead as best you can, and doing this, meeting up in secluded locations and just talking and trying to essentially what my goal is with these talks and this recording that I'm going to pass over to Hayes is trying to, it's kind of like a puzzle that isn't together, right? But the difference is that the recording isn't going to give us how to solve the puzzle. It's going to be a bunch of stuff, and we're going to try and figure out how to solve that puzzle before he can, so that we can try and stay one step ahead, right? He has these phone calls, he does these things because he wants you to know that he's still around. He wants to try and get in your head, and he wants you to try and do these things, right? That's what Jasper is. That's what he does. He wants to mentally and emotionally drain you to a point where you are vulnerable to be taken, right? He wants to put you in a vulnerable spot so that you're not able to really defend yourself. As long as he continues to keep up and keep track of these phone calls and he's able to keep doing these things, he's going to feed you stuff in order to either confuse you or bait you on into something. I mean, the best thing I can say is don't buy into it, right? But that doesn't mean shit, right? And
He's already baited me in though, Flop. That's the thing. One, the fact that he's crawled his ass out from the pits of hell, and two, the fact that he's talking about Asher. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. I'm in.
oh yeah, no, 100%.
It's just whether or not I fucking can live through it, or if Ash can live through it.
I know. It's a lot, and it's this is gonna be one of those. This is gonna be a lot of word of mouth for a while, right? I have full faith in you, knowing how to protect yourself, way better than I have faith in myself. It's not that I don't trust myself. It's that I have a feeling you've been around the block more times than I have probably when it comes to how to hiding yourself. I mean, I didn't even recognize you guys when you rolled up. I only recognized the suit because you used to wear something similar when you were a lawyer. But I mean, besides that, Ash, I didn't even recognize you. I mean, you guys are doing the best thing right now. Right? You can't just stop your lives.
I've even changed how I walk.
Honestly, I've done similar things just recently. It's important shit to do, and if a walk is how someone is going to look and maybe have suspicions about you, then trying to maybe alter the way that you normally walk is good. You know what I mean? Keep doing those things. Keep following through. Do you have any properties or any place that you live at right now? Either of you?
Yeah.
my recommendation, and I hate to say it, I can't go into context as to why, but I'm doing it right now too. Pack your bags, move back to the apartments, or find some place that was willing to give you keys to stay for a while. Someone you can trust. And make sure that person doesn't say a fucking word. And avoid your properties for a little while.
I see, but Flop, this is the problem with Jasper. Is your a while is different to Jasper's a while. Nicole Rivers worked for Weasel News. Mickey Rivers was her dad. Do you remember her?
You said Mickey Rivers and who?
Nicole Rivers, his daughter.
Maybe in passing. I definitely met Mickey. Mickey was one of the first people I ever met when I moved here.
Okay, so his daughter was taken by Jasper. Taken by Jasper and Bree. Now, this has been something that had been something that he'd been planning a long time in advance. And it wasn't until a day before that they decided that this was going to be the day. And they got it very easily. So, for a while might be like a week or so. Because a while could be a month. This is a very smart individual. And this person was taken in front of EMS.
You know what's crazy about this city? We all become so naive. And I don't think anyone even like realizes that it happens. Think about it like this, right? When a black stratum pulls up with 4 masked individuals, what's your first initial thought?
Taken to a bank or a jurist.
Exactly. Do we call it in?
Oh. You want to know the kicker?
What?
EMS said something, but nothing happened because he was already gone.
You know why he goes after... I'll tell you exactly why he did what he did. How's a van gonna catch up? See where he went. The thing that does 83 miles an hour downhill on a good day. He knows by the time he's in, he's out.
Kicker. She was taken at Pillbox Medical.
All right, well, that changes my context on that.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was done by a phone call to get something. Hey, I gotta call you back. I'm talking with... Flop, there's so much more to this than a lot of the cops that haven't understood Jasper. There is so much more to this.
Oh, I'm well aware. The reason why I'm kind of having this little small talk conversation about, like, you know, ways to, I guess, maybe hold back and preventative stuff is because, truthfully, I mean, as early as the last time we spoke, and you remember when that happened. I mean, it wasn't that long ago, right? I mean, this is, you're talking couple days ish in the last couple days. I mean, this is really like the first I'm hearing about Jasper again. The last time I heard about Jasper was Dwayne. I mean, it was a long time ago. It was, I mean, we're going on a year. So truthfully, I'm still learning about this as much as the next person, and I'm doing everything in my power to try and understand it and learn how to tackle it. Because unfortunately, you know, we make jokes about what I'm doing right now, right? But this doesn't even come close to what is actually happening this second. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I feel like
this is definitely
officers...
No, go ahead.
I feel like officers who know me and have dealt with me should understand the gravity of this when I'm someone who's actually afraid of this. Who knows what
Absolutely.
they're in over their head.
Absolutely. I'm 100% with you there. I think there is a very large majority who don't understand and will never understand, even prior to the first time we saw this guy. There's a large group of people who think this guy is just some psycho. And they're gonna go, well, I meet a psycho every day. They just kidnapped someone in front of a bank and they brought him to a jewelry store. That's not a psycho. That's someone looking... They're not looking to hurt that person. They're looking to get money and leave. Jasper's not about money. Jasper could be $1 million in debt and it wouldn't make any difference to what he wants to do. He has a motive and he has a goal. And he's a lot scarier than anyone I've dealt with. And you've probably dealt with. And I think based on that level and the fact that I know you...
Oh, it's not scarier than anyone I've dealt on my level because I've already dealt with him.
Give me one
He is
second.
the pinnacle, though.
Hey, Bryce, I gotta call you back, all right?
Yeah, no worries.
All right, bye. Fucker sighs every time I tell him I gotta call him back. God damn it.
This is a man that used to stand out the front of PD taunting you guys. This is a man that did not give a fuck who he took someone in front of. This is a person that changed their whole face so they could blend in a lot further. Used different IDs, walked everywhere. Cops would walk past him and talk to him. Have no idea who the fuck he is. He is the perfect nobody. But to a lot of people, he is everything. Is someone that even after he's dead, it doesn't leave your brain. It just sits there. You know that if you ever saw that person again, that they're gonna do everything to ruin your life. Dan Faley, he's fucked. Patty, fucked. Andy, me, fucked. Wayne, fucked. All of us. And now he's also aware that I still have everything on him. This isn't like... PD needs to understand. We're not going to find him until we're so fucking deep in his kills. And then what's going to happen is some idiot cop's going to jump the gun. And then he goes into hiding. And he comes back and kills more and more. This is nothing like anything the police officers have dealt with before. And the worst part about it is he's so much smarter now. Because he can learn from his mistakes.
That's what makes him smarter. That's what makes him, unfortunately, stronger. I'm currently dealing with this right now. I'm currently dealing with this, like, right now. With stuff. What gives people the reason for power? What is the reason for power? Why do people want to be in positions of power, right? When you look at Jasper as a person, all he wants in life is power. Back then, I don't know if you know anything about the Zodiac killer years ago, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The Zodiac is very similar in the way that Jasper acts, in the sense that he wants people to know. But he also doesn't want... He wants people to know, but he doesn't want people to know his face. He's going to do everything in his power to lead people on and never put a face to his name. And he's smart like that, and he knows that, and he'll go to any level to avoid his face ever being shown. And truthfully, you know, it's commendable from a serial killer side, but it's a fucking terrifying thing for you, me, Ash, or anyone. You know what I mean? So it really comes down to following how he's going to control his power and take the cues that he gives, either you, Ash, anyone else that might be involved or a potential victim, right? These cues that he's going to give out are going to be ways that he wants to try and work out his quote unquote power, right? This is just the way these people are. This is the way that it's always been. This goes for anyone. Jasper being a unique case because I feel like Jasper has a different approach to it, but he's still going to try and cue his power in order to get what he wants. That's his goal, right? That's any serial killer's goal. The difference between Jasper and, I don't know, Q, any other serial killer, is that he has a different MO, a different motive. The MO is what changes him, and his MO is probably the most unique out of them all.
What's his MO?
Right now, power. I really, I don't know what his MO is.
I want to tell you.
Sure.
His MO is murder, and it's the point where he wants to prove that the PD doesn't give a shit about the people. He doesn't care about the people that they don't care about the people who dies. See, with Jasper, he remembers every name, because they mean something to him. PD is just another dead body. He wants to expose that. He wants to show you that it's still the same shit that it was before. Show that PD do not give a fuck about the citizens. Because they're dead now. Move on to the next. Oh, we're bang. I need to go to that. The difference is Jasper doesn't understand that there's a larger department out there that do care and they will do things. However, it's who's going to be quicker? Man planning this and killing these people and sending PD after it? Or the officers who are going to be sitting there scratching their heads trying to work out what his next move is? You already know two people that are going to be victims for him. When and how? Unsure. It will happen. I can guarantee that. And the only way that I can foresee being able to get this man is by having bait good enough that he will come after them. And relying on the people that are around that bait to do their fucking job. I'm sure you could guess who I'm thinking the best bait would be.
Maybe. I mean, honestly, there's a couple options. I guess it depends on how you read it. You know what I mean?
Well, give me your option.
Well, my gut would say you. Because I feel like out of all the talks that we've had, I feel like you would rather him come after you than anyone else. But I know that scares the hell out of you, and honestly, I don't blame you.
Please don't
You wanna
use
know
this
what-
off as bait.
You want to know what scares me more than Jasper?
People around?
No. The PD. The fact that they won't be able to do their job. Which is keep the bait alive.
I can't deny that. Truthfully, I can't deny that. How many victims have actually made it through? I don't know if you know, because I don't, but I'm inclined to believe that statement entirely. I have good news, and then there's obviously bad news, right? The bad news is what I'm about to say isn't guaranteed. The good news is that there's officers that are very close and niche with this, right? It's the names of officers you've given me that you trust. Okay. And after the last conversation, Hayes has the fullest trust in you. She's on this case, and I know that she's going to hold it close to her heart. And I'm going to be there every step of the way as best I can. This is not going to go unnoticed. Jasper himself, his identity may go unnoticed. But who he's going after next will not go unnoticed. I will be keeping a close eye. Probably about as close as I've been keeping the cafe. And I'm gonna make it my goal. All right, because obviously I care a lot about you, Reggie. And Ash, likewise with you as well. I care about both of you so much. All right. I don't want anything to happen to both of you. But I can tell you right now that now that we know, now that we have context, how do I phrase this? You say that Jasper is smarter because he can learn from his mistakes. And I'm inclined to think that the PD, specifically the people that are on this case, know where his mistakes were. And hopefully we'll be able to correct those too.
Here's the thing, Flop.
Mm-hmm.
Say, for example, you're watching me and Jasper. And you all know where this lies, is Jasper dies. And you guys aren't in a position to follow. Right? Say something happened. You're not in a position to follow. And you see something happen. And Jasper tries to take me. I would rather you guys have to shoot through me to kill him than let me be taken from him go into the dark, and then continue. I need you to understand that him dying means more to me.
I can respect
I
that.
don't want someone standing there holding a gun to him and being like, oh, but Reggie's there. We're just going to let him load him up into a car. No. If it comes between something like he's coming after me first, I end up managing to taunt him enough that he comes after me first. Do not let me get loaded up into a car and lose him. Because you may as well have just shot through my fucking body and killed him. Because he takes me, I'm probably as good as dead, mate. And you've just lost him. Oh, it wouldn't matter if you shot through me or not. At least one way would be quick and painless, right?
I'm going to avoid that as best I can. But if it were to come down to that, I will keep that for sure in mind.
I don't want you to die, Reggie.
I want to have him have the option to kill me.
We're gonna get him fast.
I just need officers to listen to me and work with me with this. And I need more officers because I tried to call Daisy, and Daisy, I tried to call her earlier today, and she'd been awake for too long. I had to wait till you woke up, and time passes, I forget things. Like that game of Guess Who only just clicked now, and that was what, fucking 8 hours ago. I think I spoke to him. I only just clicked now when I was thinking about it.
I recommend, and I only say this because I'm doing the same thing right now. If you think you're gonna forget it, write it down. I don't care where you keep it, but write it down.
But that's the problem, Flop. When I have these conversations, there's lots of things that I strategically say in the moment to poke at the person, to slightly get under their skin, but not enough to piss them off, but to frustrate them a little bit. Small things like me telling him that Jasper was a terrible driver, that's why he walked everywhere. And then he bit back straight away saying I'm an excellent driver. Little things I do, and I'm not going to always remember them till it jumps into my mind. I was very flustered after that call. I still had things that were ready to be picked, and I wanted to get the fuck out of that area in case he was already watching, just with how he was talking. Little did I think he was already at fucking watching the fucking mural while talking to me. He spent 40 minutes in the store talking to. Like this is a game of cat and mouse, but it ain't on any level that someone else has even played. Because we know each other so well. But he's always going to be steps ahead of me.
Yeah. I can't deny that. It would be dumb for me to. On the same token, though, I hope you know that that's not going to stop me from, like, you know, I don't want to say giving it my all because that's cheesy, but I want to prioritize this. Your life's a priority to me. Ash's life is a priority to me. Any form of life is a priority to me. I hate to say it, though. I don't know if Jasper's is.
That man should already be dead, so it doesn't matter.
That's the confusion. I don't understand. I don't think we'll ever understand. Maybe at some point something will come up. I think it's strange. Strange is the only word I can use. But we can all agree that this is a unique approach and a unique case. And Reggie, I'll make you this promise. In an hour and a half, I will be standing in a position speaking to Hayes, and I will be passing this recording along so we could break it down together. As soon as I see Hayes, it'll be on record, and we'll go from there, and I'll be sure to get in contact with Daisy. Make sure Daisy understands the severity.
Daisy wasn't even across it when I asked. Daisy had no idea about it. In how many days? Like, this is the incompetency that I was alluding to. I expect people to take this and actually do something about it. Because it's gonna happen, Flop. It is.
It's reality, Reggie. There's no denying that. This is reality. And you know what? Prior to me ever becoming an EMS, I met a lot of people. I've met a lot of interesting people. When I became an EMS, I arrived on a lot of interesting scenes. I couldn't ask questions because my job was preserving life. That was my job. I wasn't allowed to ask questions. It was just making sure I could get these people to pillbox and either presume them alive or dead. when I became a cop, I had my EMS mentality. But the difference is that now people get to tell me their experiences. I get to learn about it now. The constant that happened from the time I was not an EMS to the time I'm at now is that regardless of where my position was at that time, these things are always happening. And I guess maybe I have more of a personal experience because I've lived that life. And regardless of if I was involved or not, or heard about it or didn't hear about it, it's happening. Right now as we speak, there could be somebody handcuffed at the edge of water with a gun pressed to the back of their head. Or a knife. Or an axe. Doesn't matter. Regardless of what other people in the PD think, I know that these things are happening. And it scares the hell out of me to think that these things are constantly happening, whether we realize it or not. And I will make it a priority. And I will make you this promise that this is a priority for me. At this point, I think I got what I wanted from my other thing. For the most part. I have a couple last little things to do, but besides that, that can go on the back burner. This is of my utmost importance.
The biggest thing I need to tell you about Jasper Flop.
The
patient man. So you might not hear anything for days. But it's not saying he's not doing anything. Could be planning, could be scouting out places, watching people, following them, learning how they move, who they're with when they're vulnerable. At the right point, he'll strike. That inside 24 hours later, boom. Tape, body. He doesn't always do it straight away. When I think it was Mina Price that was taken, and they took her up to Sandy. Are you starving, Flop?
No.
On the floor.
Do you have anything to drink?
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't want to say anything. I'm sorry.
So when they took Mina Price, they took her up to the mine shaft that's near Sandy Airport, and they stopped past Sandy PD to sign her off duty.
The mine shaft
And-
near Sandy Airport. Is that the
Yeah.
one that we met at? Are you talking about the other one?
No, there's another one right next to Harmony,
Okay. Yep.
right next to the Harmony Bank.
Yeah.
Now, during that, I was at MRPD talking to a dispatcher. A dispatcher that I'd spoken to a fair few times before, who I was waiting to hear them say that there's an officer missing. So I knew how long that they had. That probably would have been one of the quicker kills, because they knew that they were short on time. That was still something that was planned out well in advance. That had to be everything that was in the perfect position. It was attempted earlier, but pulled off. This person is not afraid of taking cops. So you need to make sure that people are being very aware of what they're saying around other people. Don't use other people. they'll probably let me get close enough. All I've got to do is play dumb enough. That's it. And I'll need things from you guys, like those IDs. Today he was calling from an unknown number. It said that he ditched the original number that I had before, that I got contacted from.
Do you believe it?
Jasper says it, then it's true. He wouldn't lie about that. Not something so small. Not a trivial thing like a phone number.
Let me ask you this. Has that always been the case with Jasper?
What?
Small lies in order to... Right? I guess being honest about small things like that.
And Jasper was someone that didn't hide a lot of the things that he did. Because he liked people knowing.
Power.
He would always talk to cops about the crimes. He wants to talk to police. He wants them to know. There's another way that you could really fuck him up. And that would be a copycat, whilst he is currently taken over the original copycat. Someone that makes him look like an idiot. However, that person is as good as a swift death. And it's not going to be a painless death. Make sure it's very painful. It'll be quick. That's how you could get under his skin. And you could do it quite easily. That's a dangerous game to play. Because if he found out that there was someone else there tarnishing his name, tarnishing his record, oh, he would turn everything onto them.
Do you know if we can fake a copycat? Lead him down a false trail? For literally no other reason than to buy time. So that we can figure out our next steps. Because you said he's a patient guy. He'll wait. He'll wait weeks, months before he goes for people, right? He'll say he'll go after somebody, then wait. It's not a smart idea. But it's not going to stop anything. It's going to buy us time, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do you think there's a way to fake a copycat?
You could
What do you
just
mean by
fake
fake a copycat?
Lead him down a trail?
staged videos,
Actually,
start claiming kills.
I mean, Jasper doesn't tweet, does he? But he watches.
He tweets from their phones. He used to tweet a lot, actually, a lot. That's how you knew that it was always him, because he was always tweeting.
Well, what's the one thing Jasper hates more than himself?
Oh, that man's in love with himself.
Exactly. So somebody copying himself to try and be a better version of himself would piss him off.
I wouldn't say try to be a better version of himself. If you tarnish his name and do just absolute shit jobs of everything, and then you just follow that person. Wait. The other thing about Jasper is every single kill that he did, he was in the area when cops arrived. He used to love watching cops watch and go through the scene and trying to work out anything that happened. Love seeing the red and blue lights. just swarming all over the scene. Something that someone reminded me recently about is Jasper was taught nobody ever looks up. So he'd have a high ground advantage. He'd always have a high ground advantage, watching over everything that happened. Utilize the news report. Have them make stories about someone more relevant than Jasper. That person's not real. That'll get under his skin. That'll buy you time. Destroy Jasper, let him destroy himself going after this person. You want him the safe way? Angle me as bait.
I just don't want to put you in front of it because the goal here is to deter, not to put the blame on someone else. I don't want to harm anyone else. I'm trying to think of a way that this would still be a conversation for Hayes, because I'm not looking to put anyone else's life at risk. My goal is to deter him from going after and to maybe put himself on a small hiatus to buy us a little bit of time.
Hundreds of people are already at risk.
I know.
And I can guarantee you he's already got he's got names sitting there ready to go. Everything planned out and what he's going to do. He's just going to sit back and watch. Like he said to me, he's not going to be doing anything this week. Leads me to believe that he's just going to be stalking prey this week, watching how they move. And next week, who's going to be on the video?
Yeah.
We just need to make sure it's not you, Reggie.
He's already called you as the target.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do, Flop, is if Hayes can stay awake till similar time that we met last time, I'll wake up early.
Okay. I still want to give her the recording, but I know she's going to have questions.
Exactly.
Because obviously I feel like she knows a little bit more. I'm following. She's going to have the more specific personal questions that she is probably more aware of than I am. So I definitely want her to at least listen. We're going to get a report started for this today. And we're going to add on to it when we meet later. If you guys have any phone calls, any text messages, any tweets, anything like that, they could be important. They could help. Maybe establish a timeline of his availability. Stuff like that.
Well, he called me about 2 hours after this storm. Between 2 and 3 hours. We called Ash before that, but they're both unknown numbers. And the only way that I can get in contact with him is by either tweeting for him, putting a Yellow Pages ad out like I do.
Okay. Ash, is there
Like I said,
anything?
Flop,
Oh, good.
just remember it, right? Have it in the forefront of your mind. There's a moment that you see me getting taken. You don't have a clear shot, take it anyway. Like I said, I'm as good as dead once I'm in that car.
We won't let him take you, Reggie.
I'll keep it in mind. I'm gonna do my best to avoid getting to that point. And I can make the promise that anything on this recording is obviously going to stay between the people that we have in question, right? This is more or less for Hayes and less about putting this on paper. Because I'm going to write my statements from what you guys have told me. And then I'm going to let Hayes get her questions she wants to ask you later.
Another weird request I've got. I need other cops to still believe that there's a chance that I'm helping Jasper and not helping you guys. Because he had cops that helped him last time. Once he catches wind of it, that I know. Oh, that's it.
I can do that. I mean,
I need to be still marked as something like that other people would know about, some kind of suspect or anything like that. That's what it needs to be. 'Cause I don't want another cop getting wind of this and then that being the cop that is helping Jas.
yeah. Let me ask you a question. I can do that for you. If your name ever comes up, I could easily paint a picture. It doesn't paint you an enemy, but paints you, I guess, more in the light of you're against. Do you think that that might hold you off on ever getting certified again for your bar?
No, because I'll be able to call on yourself or Hayes if I need to.
Okay. Any reports moving forward? I don't know about previous reports because they're locked behind doors that I can't access, unfortunately. Which is good, so that the general public of the police department can't see them. Any of my reports, both of your names will be redacted as redacted 1 and redacted 2. And I'll be able to differentiate the two for Hayes and anyone else that needs to know about this. And it's going to stay that way. This way, if you want me to paint that picture, I can do that.
After talking to him today, it just confirmed everything to me that it's definitely him.
Okay.
If there was any question about that, it was like exactly how I remember him.
What do we do now, Reggie?
I don't know. Just so you're aware, Flop, I like what you saw today. There's going to be someone that's trailing Ash and I a lot of the time. Keeping an eye on us. Because I've told a few other people that we might need someone watching us at points in time. Just for my own safety, because I can't rely on PD.
I'm going to try for something. And if I can get my way, it's a very unethical way of getting to where I want to get to within the police department. But if I can get to where I want to be, I will have tools that I have access to in order to keep an eye on you. And it'll be at a point where you won't even know I'm watching. So,
I'm gonna be hiding in the boot.
I'm not hiding in the trunk.
The boot, not a trunk, Flop.
The trunk.
There's an elephant here.
Tree trunk?
The boot.
Oh, he means a chest.
No, 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 the boot. The boot, okay?
Oh,
the fucking,
pink.
the boot! Okay.
Oh, he's talking about the boot, Reggie.
Yeah, right. I wasn't sure. I was thinking, where did he get an elephant from and why is he inside of it?
I don't know, why am I hiding in a shoe?
That's not a shirt.
You're right, it's a boot.
Exactly. Boot of a car.
You know, like your caboose and boot.
Sure. Unrelated.
Anyway, Flop. I believe I've ruined your day enough today.
Well, I gotta write about 3 separate pieces of paperwork and get those submitted. So, I mean, this is another thing on my list, and I'm gonna prioritize this before I prioritize what I was doing before. Because this needs to get on paper as early as possible. And moving forward from here, this is always gonna take priority. If you call me about this stuff, this will always take priority.
Thanks.
All right.
Let me know how you can go with those IDs and if you can make sure you tell Hayes that and try and wake up early.
In about an hour, I'm going to tell Hayes that this needs to happen. Because while it is an unethical way of doing things, it is the safest way. And it is the best way to keep in touch.
Yep.
So, Ash
Better
is-
he gets the IDs from us than someone else.
yeah. No, you're right. Ash, is there anything else on the recording you want to throw in real quick? Anything that you want brought up or no?
No.
Okay. Right. I'm gonna go ahead and stop this then real quick.